you doing?
Oh, I'm just looking for the clues in the text. Tyler, can you explain what a context clue is? Tyler, can you explain what a context clue is?
Clue.
The context clue.
Whenever you're trying to find a key details in a word.
Tommy, can you explain what a context clue is?
It's like the clues in the text that like help define the meaning of a word.
Perfect. The clues in a text. Context clues. Our standard today is to identify and use context clues, word relationships, reference materials, and or background knowledge to determine the meaning of unknown words. Our objective is, given a worksheet, students will identify and define vocabulary words with 5 out of 6 correct. First, we're going to read a passage called Ben's Big Problem. I'm going to pass it out. There you go. There you go. I'm going to read it to you guys. You're going to follow along. When you hear our vocabulary terms procrastinate, anxious, or error, I would like you to raise your hand so we can circle them. Tyler, please put your paper down. Focus, sit up, straight. Are we ready? Ben's big problem. Tyler. Ben was pretty much your typical 10-year-old boy. He tried hard in school, made friends easily, and listened to his parents. The one crucial problem that Ben had was he would always procrastinate. Tommy?
Procrastinate.
Procrastinate, good. Let's circle the word procrastinate. Circle the word procrastinate. It didn't matter if he had 2 weeks to complete a project, Ben wouldn't even begin it until the night before. If he needed something for school, he'd tell his mom at the last minute. Pay attention. Sit up and pay attention. Tyler, sit up and pay attention. Ben's procrastination caused his mom to be very anxious, but Ben never seemed bothered. Did anyone hear a vocabulary word? Tommy?
Anxious.
Anxious. Good. Let's circle the word anxious. Tyler. That was until the one time his bad habit caught up to him and he missed an important deadline. He wanted to have his mom sign the permission slip for a field trip to a water park that the whole school was going to celebrate the end of the year. He only discovered his error when he walked into school and saw everyone with their permission slips in their hands. Tyler?
Error.
Error. Good. Let's circle the word error. Ben asked to call his mom and sprinted to the school office, but his mom didn't answer her phone. He called his dad, still no answer. Ben became hysterical. He had no choice but to stay behind in the office while all his friends crammed on the buses to the water park. That day, Ben ceased being a procrastinator. He learned his lesson. All right, so let's go to our, what was the first word we saw in the text? Tyler?
Procrastinate.
Procrastinate. Tommy, what do you believe procrastinate means?
To like wait to do something.
To wait to do something? Tyler, please. I didn't ask you to get your journals out. I didn't ask you to get these out. To wait to do something. Good. How can you prove that procrastinate means to put off doing something or to wait to do something?
It says that he wouldn't even begin the project until the night before.
Good. One context clue is he wouldn't even begin it until the night before. Let's underline that line. Ben wouldn't even begin it until the night before. Underline that line. What about he had 2 weeks to complete the project? Let's underline 2 weeks to complete, because it shows that he has a good amount of time to complete this project, but didn't begin it until the night it was due. The night before it was due. Tommy, what was the next word we ran into in the text?
Anxious.
Anxious. Good. What do you believe anxious means?
To be like worried.
To be worried or stressed. Tyler, what context clues can we use in the text to prove that anxious means to be worried or stressed?
Wait, can you read it again? I don't know.
If he needed something for school, he'd tell his mom at the last minute.
Tell mom the last minute.
Good, tell his mom at the last minute. How is this a context clue? How does this prove that anxious means to be stressed?
Cause his mom, cause Ben said he didn't mind or.
Yes, Tommy?
Because if you tell your mom something at the last minute, it would make them anxious.
Good. There's another context clue that might help us define anxious.
Error.
That's our next vocabulary word, Tyler. What about, but Ben never seemed bothered? It says, but Ben never seemed bothered. So that means that his mom must be bothered, right? Tyler, put your hand down. So let's underline the word, those line, but Ben never seemed bothered. Now, what was the next word we ran into in the text? Yes. Error. Good. What context clues are in the text that can help us to define error? Tyler?
What was it again?
What context clues in the text help us to define error?
Error.
It says, that was until the one time his bad habit caught up to him and he missed an important deadline. Ben forgot to have his mom sign the permission slip for a field
He
trip.
missed something really important.
He missed an important deadline. Perfect. Let's underline missed an important deadline.
I don't want to.
Right here, missed an important deadline. There's another one we might be able to use. Tommy, do you think you know where it is?
Is it Ben forgot to have his mom sign the permission slip?
Good. So let's put Ben forgot. Let's underline that. Tyler, can you predict what the meaning of error is by using these context clues that he missed an important deadline and that he forgot to have his mom sign a permission slip?
Wait, what?
Can you predict the meaning of error using these context clues?
Like he made an like he did an accident.
An accident, or he made a mistake. Good. Now I want everyone to get out their interactive journals. And I want you to open it to the pages that has your vocabulary 4 squares. Yes, Tyler.
My leg broke.
Your pencil's okay.
My leg broke.
Open it to the vocabulary 4 squares in your book. Tommy, what was the first word we came across in the text?
Procrastinate.
Good. Now in the top left corner where it says definition, who can define procrastinate for me? Tommy?
Like to wait to do something.
To wait to do something. So let's all write that down. To wait to do something. Tommy, what context clues help you to find out that definition?
That
Tyler, please stop
Took
sitting on
him-
your chair.
or he had 2 weeks to complete a project, but he wouldn't begin it until the night before.
Good. 2 weeks to complete and waited until the night before. Tommy, can you use a sentence using the word procrastinate?
I always procrastinate on my homework.
Good. I always procrastinate on my homework. Is everyone writing this down? Now we're going to save the drawing portion in the bottom left corner for when I hand out your worksheets. If you finish them early, you can come back to this and draw pictures that make sense with the vocabulary word you are doing. Does everyone have this written down?
Yes.
All right. Tommy, what was the next word that we found in the passage?
Anxious.
Anxious. Good. I want everyone to find their foursquare that says anxious in the middle.
Anxious. Does it start with E?
Nope. Starts with anxious. Tyler, what was the definition of anxious?
Anxious. Can you read it again, please?
The definition of anxious.
The definition.
Yes.
Is that the one that's stressed?
Stressed. Good. Let's put stressed as the definition for anxious. Can anyone tell me what the context clues were in the text that we used to find out the definition of anxious? Tommy?
But Ben never seemed bothered.
All right, but Ben never seemed bothered. Let's write that down. Tyler. And let's underline but. I know there was another one. Tyler, do you remember?
Error.
Not the other vocabulary word, the other context clue we used to define anxious. Tommy?
He told his mom at the last minute.
Good. Let's write told his mom. Tyler, write. Told his mom at the last minute. Tyler, can you give me a sentence using the word anxious?
My mom is anxious of me.
My mom is anxious of you. Your mom is stressed of you.
Yes. Like that.
Can we think of another sentence?
My brother's anxious of me. My dad's anxious.
Well, that's the same sentence, just with a different.
My dad's anxious of me. Always doing not safe tricks on trampolines.
Perfect. So how about let's say my dad gets anxious when I do dangerous tricks.
On the trampoline.
Let's just write dangerous tricks.
Okay.
For the sake of time. And again, we're saving the drawing until after the worksheets. Tyler, what was the next word that we found in our passage?
Error. Error.
Error. Good. Everyone find their foursquare that says error.
I know what it means.
All right. Just hold on 1 second. Tyler, what does error mean?
It means you made an accident.
An accident or mistake?
Yes. I can do a sentence for it. My
First, can anyone tell me the context clues we used to find out that error meant to make a mistake or an accident? Tommy?
He missed an important deadline.
Missed an important deadline. Let's underline missed. And I know there was another one. Can I remember the other one? Tyler?
His mom was bothered.
That was anxious.
Ben forgot.
Ben forgot. Let's underline forgot and Ben forgot. Tyler, what was your sentence for error?
Stressed. Yeah.
You said you had a sentence for error.
Yeah. I forgot what.
You can create a new one. An error, an accident, a mistake.
Okay. My dog made an error by accidentally hurting our puppy.
Okay. My dog made an error. Accidentally hurting my puppy.
It is okay.
Alright, guys. Does everyone have this written down?
Yes.
I'm going to pass out worksheets. I want you guys to complete them silently and individually. And if you finish early, I would like you to go back into your interactive journals and draw a picture relating to each vocabulary word in your Foursquare. Tyler. I would like you guys to close your interactive journals for now so that you can complete your worksheet. I'm going to take your passages. For your worksheet. Remember, silently and individually. All right, it looks like everyone is finished with their worksheet and is drawing in their four squares. Thank you guys for following directions. Thank you. You guys can go ahead and close your journals. Thank you. Today we were given a worksheet and you guys identified and defined vocabulary words with hopefully about 5 out of 6 correct on those worksheets. Does everyone feel good about those worksheets? Everyone feel like they did good on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right. Tyler, what is a context clue?
Context clue.
What is the
Like
definition
your-
of a context clue?
Like you're looking for key detail in the word.
You're looking for the words in the text to help define another word. You're looking for the clues in a text.
I keep on getting confused with 2 words.
Okay. Tommy, what was the definition of procrastination?
To wait to do something.
To wait to do something. And can you give me a sentence using that? Please sit up straight, Tyler.
I'm going to procrastinate on my homework.
I'm going to procrastinate on my homework. Good. Tyler, what was the definition of anxious?
Anxious.
Anxious.
You're stressed.
Stressed. Good job. Can you give me a sentence using the word anxious?
I'm anxious of my kid doing backflips on a bicycle.
Okay, I'm anxious of my kid doing backflips on a bicycle. Not very realistic, but it's a good sentence. Can anyone define error? Tyler?
Accident.
A mistake or an accident. Can you give me a sentence with the word error?
My dog.
A different sentence other than the one you gave me earlier. Tommy?
I made an error on my test.
I made an error on my test.
I made
Good.
a mistake on my test.
Good. Does everyone feel like they have a good understanding of context clues?
Yes.
And the easy way to remember what they are, Tyler, since you said you mixed them up a little bit, is clues in a text. Context clues, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay.